Welcome to the Roth Show.
I've played charity gigs now where you have the stage that's about 8 inches tall, not 8 feet, 8 inches tall. When you play a place like the Forum or Madison Square Garden or somewhere, you want a 6 to 8 foot deck so that you can see from your toes all the way to your head, like this. And ladies, what you want is to wait for the singer so that you can have an 8 foot dick too. Uh-oh. Okay, that was intentional. It was wrong. It's the me too, but not you, Dave movement. And so I want to come full circle here. I want to come back around. It's more like a reach around. Uh-oh. Okay, California reach around where it's up here. Okay, that didn't work either. If you wanted to get a job in music, you had to do 5 and or 7 sets a night, 45 minutes, play every kind of possible music that you could because you were going to play on a lot of events and gigs and so forth that you had no idea. Van Halen, we even backed up other vocalists, female vocalists, for example, for television shows. And we would, I've tried to find this on the grid. This was way early. But we had one gal, I forget her name. She was feisty. She was trouble. And she fed right into all the stereotypic, archetypic stories about trouble with vocalists. The fact is, all vocalists are trouble. Our body is our instrument. So no matter what, it's not like I can get another guitar or if somebody, if this breaks, I can't just go whatever. The musicians who take the biggest beating on the stage are the vocalists and the drummer. I scream and yell, and you got to be aerobic. At the same time, that drummer's taking impact over and over, and then you get that shivers. It's like getting mildly tackled over and over and over again. And my job is all legs and lungs. All of my training is singing along with them constantly on that bicycle. There's no rugs in this entire house because you got to move and groove and do it like a. I can see this on the monitor. You're getting dreamy. You're getting ready to subscribe. You're getting ready to like. You like so much. Now you're encouraging others to subscribe. Okay, let's get back to the point. Van Halen ultimately was one of the best dance bands ever because you could play any sort of music with our crew. It could be funky and it could be chunky. We could play the best of ZZ Top. We could play the best of Deep Purple. Even we found Black Sabbath material and Grand Funk Railroad material that was out of this world, smoking. More familiar material, Walk This Way. We played that 3 times a night. And it was the very best. Van Halen was a 70s band who enjoyed our success and gave access to a whole lot of fellas who found resource and inspiration from what we did. But our inspirations were classic Ziggy, Freddie, Eric. Come on, you got to guess the last name, Sherry. Richie. It's Blackmore. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, yes. Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. Then on the pop charts, it was everybody that Tedesco played with. It was the Wrecking Crew. It was Motown. Most of my heroes, almost all of them, wore suits to work. And yes, that included the Stones and the Beatles. And you were either quintessentially a Stones man or a Beatle man. This was a source of contention on a lot of playgrounds, and I was on that playground. There were other playgrounds. Tom, I think I demonstrated to you the Frankenstein roll.
You did.
First time I ever did that, and you probably went home with your girlfriend, okay, and practiced this, didn't you? You
Absolutely.
share these things. I know that you're learning. You're pretending, like myself, you pretend that you're not learning anything because it encourages others to try harder. And I like that about you because I see myself reflected in your eyes, Tom, and I like the way you're thinking. So you went home and you practiced the Frankenstein roll. I'm more interested in what your girlfriend thought of you practicing. Okay. She probably thought you rolled that right leg up because you bought a bicycle. A successful venture into wellness, health, well-being and becoming connected more to nature, right? But that's all fucked up. She was wrong, right? You were going to practice the Frankenstein roll. Okay. And what I shared with him, and I learned this first time when I was, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade with George Somas. You roll one of your legs up like so that you can really see where your foot's going, because you're going to slip off the curb. Put one foot up on the curb. Okay. Sometimes you even take the shoe off. I don't recommend that at first. Okay. And you practice rolling down the curb. Remember, one foot's up on the curb, other one's on the gutter. Here we go. And you're going to go boom, 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 boom. And it sounds like Frankenstein. I added the laugh. Frankenstein never laughed. Okay. And by the way, Frankenstein was the doctor. The creature was one named the creature. Did you know that?
I did.
You'll win drinks with that one. Okay. And you practice the roll like so. And then you add a little swagger to it. And then you step off the curb when you feel that you've cross-trained sufficiently. You step off the curb and you start. I like to do the fuck face. It goes like this, like you're about to. See that? And I'm rolling. And then I give a little laugh. Yeah. Pretend to fix my glasses and shit. Pretend necktie move. And you can come to a stop when you're really good and still be walking. Yo, baby, come see about this. I have a surgically implanted disco beat. Every Al Green song fits right with it. Put your hair right. Talk to a whole nation, baby. Classic original Van Halen could play any size, shape, stage, you bet. If it was an 8-inch stage, I'd make the joke that, hey, last time I was on a stage like this, I had to have the car and the keys back by 11. We played everywhere from really refined high school like LaSalle, where I believe Princess Meghan comes from. All right, she went to school. She was alma mater up there. We played the Mayfield School of the Holy Child of Jesus. And at the same time, we'd play a biker bar out in Pomona. Fella got killed right in front of us while we were playing LaGrange. Finished the song, too. Next night, just as a matter of self-defense, we pulled the amps out from the back wall. Stage wasn't that big, about 18 and a half inches, just enough to squeeze our skinny bodies in between the amps and the wall in case there was trouble out on the dance floor. You know, up at LaSalle at Megan's place. Them Catholics, they feisty. And though we played a lot of different kinds of music and to all different kinds of neighborhoods, that was because the Van Halens were quintessential internationals who didn't even speak English as a first language. They were Dutch. Their mother was Indonesian. And I'd come from all over by the time I was a teenager. I'd lived in tiny little student housing, been running around out in fields, made it to student housing that was a little bit bigger in Boston, of all places, and came to Southern California in the great outdoors, which meant skateboards and Stingray bicycles. Boom! We were used to being everywhere. And ultimately, our parents weren't, I'll just do one kind of thing for a living kind of folks. They knew there was a big world out there and we were about to go out into the territory. Music was going to be our passport. We wanted to speak a lot of languages. We wanted to have 17 different kinds of hamburger. What is this, Turkish? These are Swedish. No, these are Turkish. Make no mistake, there was a clear separation between church, state, and different neighborhoods in the 1970s. In the 1970s, integrational busing was still a big deal. I went to schools that were 95% Black and Spanish speaking. Tom, how many Black kids were there in your high school graduating class percentage-wise, at or about? And you were in Ohio, correct?
I was in Ohio,
right.
A town called Elyria. I'm going to say it's definitely over 50%.
All right. In my class, for example, in Mrs. Mintz's third period homeroom. I think there were 3 of us pale faces. I don't qualify as a pale face in a federal penitentiary. I have to go with the others. The white Aryan Brotherhood's a little choosy. And Cindy Yamazaki, who was always good at math. That was one of the next voter blocks that's coming along. The Japanese, Chinese, Spanish speaking. The running story was that at UCLA there were only 15 Hispanics and that 7 of them were the gardening crew. That may have been true. Today, I'm going to guess at least half, if not 3/4, have some connection to Spanish speaking. And I'm going to add in the Portuguese that Brazil does. And I'm going to guess that the salad bar is now way improved and that the entire commissary, in terms of we cater to the student body, and the student body demands things in Farsi, Urdu, Wolof, Etche, Portuguese, Brazilian, not Portugal, because that's over in the International Food Court. Yes, we know the difference.